Welcome to the Explainer. So, you know that feeling when an unexpected car repair bill hits? Or maybe a sudden medical expense pops up? Or honestly, maybe you just want to crush a savings goal a little faster. Sometimes we just need cash, and we need it fast. And trust me, you are definitely not alone in feeling that way.
But here's the problem. The second you put it out there that you need extra cash fast, you are instantly bombarded with an overwhelming and frankly exhausting amount of make money fast advice. It's like navigating a minefield, trying to separate genuine opportunities from total wastes of your time.
The reality? The gig economy has absolutely exploded. We're talking a massive wave of apps promising same-day or super quick payouts. And this is for everyone. University students trying to cover textbook costs, delivery riders, or really just anyone looking to build a reliable side hustle in their free time. But the big question we're answering today is which of these platforms actually fit your personal timeline, your specific skills, and your lifestyle?
To figure that out, we've got a clear roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Quick digital tasks, 2. Selling and renting assets, 3. Hitting the pavement, 4. Skill-based freelance gigs, and 5. The fine print.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, Quick Digital Tasks. These are low barrier and totally couch-friendly.
These are those micro jobs you can literally do in your sweatpants while watching TV. Just you and your smartphone. But we really need to contrast the hype of quick cash with the actual math here. For example, completing tasks and watching videos on Swagbucks, that typically nets most users maybe $1 to $5 a day. Survey Junkie comes in around $3.18 an hour. And those receipt scanning apps like Ibotta, you might hit a $20 threshold over the course of an entire month. So yeah, it's easy money, but it is definitely just pocket change.
Now, if you want to jump from pocket change to slightly higher payouts, you've got to step up your involvement a bit. Testing websites for user experience can actually net you up to $120 a pop, depending on how complex it is. Participating in psychological research studies might get you around $50. And if you're willing to step just a little bit into physical tasks, doing yard work through an app like TaskRabbit averages around $49 an hour in certain cities. Not too shabby, right?
Moving on to Section 2, Sell and Rent Assets. It's all about monetizing what you already own.
Get this, a staggering 40% of Facebook users are on Facebook Marketplace. 40%! So if you've got household clutter, maybe some unused electronics, or that old furniture gathering dust in the corner, there is a massive, built-in local audience right there ready to buy it. Honestly, it's one of the easiest ways to turn your closet clutter into immediate cash.
But beyond just selling, you can also rent out your high-value assets. Letting someone rent your car on an app when you aren't using it can bring in an average of $250 to over $600 a month. On the other end of the spectrum, renting out a spare room or your entire home can yield hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars a month. Just a quick heads up, though, that one does require navigating a bit of a maze with short-term rental laws and homeowner association rules.
Okay, let's look at Section 3, Hitting the Pavement. This covers driving, delivery, and more physical tasks.
If you don't mind actually leaving the house for more active work, getting started on these pavement-pounding apps usually follows a pretty standard 3-step process. You download the app to create your profile, you pass a background check, and a great little bonus here is that the companies almost always cover the cost of that check. And then, boom, you are cleared to start earning cash.
However, hold on a second, because before you can start chauffeuring people around town or delivering piping hot takeout, you absolutely must meet their strict requirements. You're generally going to need a reliable 4-door car for rideshare, a valid driver's license with 1 to 3 years of driving experience, proof of residency, your own personal auto insurance, and of course, clearance on that criminal background check. So, no getaway drivers allowed.
When we compare the two major rideshare players, the data is actually pretty fascinating. The monthly averages are remarkably similar. Uber drivers average about $364 a month, while Lyft drivers are right there, averaging $377 a month. That said, both companies note that highly active drivers can earn closer to $32 per specifically engaged hour. That's the time you're actually on a trip with a passenger. But what if you're not exactly a people person? Well, running errands, helping people move, or doing manual labor on TaskRabbit actually averages a slightly higher monthly income, around $380, than traditional ride-sharing. Food delivery via DoorDash sits a bit lower, averaging $229 a month, but it often has way less strict rules about the kind of car you drive.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Skill-based freelance gigs. This is where you turn your professional skills into cash.
For those of you with specific professional talents, think graphic design, coding, writing, let's compare the gig giants, Upwork and Fiverr.
Upwork is fantastic for hourly, project-based remote work, where freelancers are averaging around $20 an hour. Fiverr operates a bit differently, though. It lets you sell specific, pre-packaged digital services, like, say, designing a logo for a set flat price, where users average about $103 a month.
And if you have serious, robust professional experience under your belt, platforms like TopTal are absolutely where you want to look. Now, they do have a rigorous multi-week screening process, but they boast annual earnings for their top freelancers that range from $50,000 all the way up to well over $200,000 a year. I mean, that is quite the leap from scanning receipts for $20 a month, right? Platforms like FlexJobs also offer strictly vetted remote jobs with really solid full-time equivalent salaries. Finally, Section 5, the fine print. We're talking taxes, scams, and some much-needed reality checks.
Look, while there is great money to be made across all these platforms, we have to talk about the catch. This isn't under-the-table cash. Just like a full-time job, you owe state and federal income tax on this gig money. And because taxes aren't being automatically withheld by an employer, you typically must pay them quarterly to the IRS as a self-employed individual. Trust me, if you ignore this, you're going to face some really harsh penalties come tax season.
You also must vigorously protect yourself from scams. Like Fidelity Investments warns, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Always, always verify apps before handing over your personal data. Never pay an upfront fee just for the privilege of working. And above all else, never put yourself in an unsafe physical situation for a gig. It's just not worth it.
To set yourself up for real success, you've got to treat your side hustle like a business. Open up a separate bank account so you can easily track your expenses for tax deductions. If you're doing physical labor or house sitting, definitely consider additional liability insurance. And if you're driving, always factor in the hidden costs of gas and the wear and tear on your vehicle, because those expenses, they eat directly into your profits. Ultimately, navigating the gig economy means you have to sit down and do the math. You need to ensure the payout is actually worth the hours and the energy you're putting in, because at the end of the day, your time is literally your most valuable asset. So looking at everything we've just covered in this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this. Which side hustle category actually fits your life best, and what is the true value of your time?